Hello, if we've not met before, I'm Mary Edwards and I'm one of the lay readers at Aldridge Parish Church. As the lockdown has eased and people have gone back to work and children and students have gone back to their studies, one of the things I've noticed in the media has been that the gap between those who have and those who have not is getting wider. It may be those who are rich against those who are poor, those who have jobs considered against those who don't, those who've started going back to their favourite restaurant, and those who've had to start going back to a food bank. And a glance at the programmes on television on one evening in the first week of September in some ways says it all. On one channel there's Super Shoppers, a guide to the latest deals in mobile phones. On another channel, Chelsea, the wealthiest borough in Britain. And on a third channel, the Yorkshire Job Centre. A very interesting series filmed in a job centre in Leeds, where people from many backgrounds, many different circumstances, for as many different reasons as there are people, are finding that they need to apply for universal credit. Some of this was filmed before lockdown, but many of the conditions there will apply even more so now. I'm moved by their circumstances and also by their determination, so many of them, to get back to work and start providing for their families again. So as Christians we think, well, where's God in all this? We know that He loves everyone and cares for everyone. So how do we respond? I chose this passage from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 25, and particularly for verses 35, 36 and 40, where Jesus says, "I was hungry and you fed me, thirsty, you gave me a drink. I was a stranger, you received me into your homes, naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you took care of me. I was in prison and you visited me." I tell you, whatever you did this for one of the least important of these brothers of mine, you did it for me. Now, some Christians are employers. Some will work in large organisations, companies, trade unions, maybe become local councillors or even members of parliament. They're the ones who get stuck into planning and making long-term decisions and long-term policies. As Christians, they've every right to be there and often acting as salt and light in the places where they work. Others will support voluntary organisations working with those of all faiths and none to help people in need, getting stuck into giving them food, shelter or clothing, as Jesus told us to do. Other people may support a local school, or perhaps be a parent helper, a school governor, or maybe like the Open the Book group, go in to take assemblies and support staff and children. Maybe you're supporting a local activity connected with one of our churches, such as the Hot House or the Thomas Project, which runs a food bank, but also helps people learn new skills to get back into work. All of these people are getting stuck into their local community. So I take a step back and I think, why do we do this? Because it's expected of us, or a good thing to do? No, it's because Jesus, who loves us, tells us that what we do, we should be doing as though we were doing it for Him. So we are to see the person that we're helping, not as a statistic or part of a project or somebody less important or less worthy than ourselves, but we're to see them as though they are Jesus. Yes, as we help people, we are to think we can see Jesus in them. Now, I know a great deal of good is done by organisations, but I suspect that far more is done by individual Christians in families, in neighbourhoods, in places of work, in communities where Christians live, and that's pretty well everywhere. Have another look at that passage from Matthew 25. "I was sick, and you took care of me." You may well be caring for somebody who's been sick in their body, or perhaps you're helping and supporting someone who's been troubled in their mind or their spirit. "I was in prison and you visited me." Very few of us will be prison visitors, but many of us will know, especially lately, people who've been in the prison of isolation or loneliness. We can befriend, we can be gentle, we can get alongside, we can contact, we can listen, we can stand alongside people, getting stuck in, helping anyone in these situations. And many of these situations are well below the radar of what is known in the public eye. It's just what Jesus told us to do, especially when we help those whom the world regards as the least of my brothers. Never mind what the world thinks. Jesus calls them one of my brothers. And he says that whatever we're doing to help, we are doing it for him. So let's do just that. Let's get stuck in. Amen.